Hey everyone, welcome to May and our May market update. Craig, you want to kick us off with kind of what's going on in the market?
You bet. Let's talk about active listings. So as of this morning, we have 21,193 listings, active listings, in the whole MLS. If you break that down just to single-family homes, we have 9,560 in Maricopa County only. So that's been hovering about that amount for a while. Actually, inventory is up a little bit over last quarter. Last quarter, we had 18,000 on the market roughly. Now we're at 21,000. What I find interesting is a couple things. One, days on market for homes that are under contract or that is sold actually, they're at 66 days on market when they close. Active listings are at 78 average for days on market. Last quarter, they were at 91 days for active listings. So what I find interesting about that is that shows you the homes are being priced correctly, good, nice inventories on the market, and demand's up a bit, right? So kind of some things to think about there.
How much of that do you equate to the seasonality of
I mean, we're definitely in our spring selling season, right? And it's come a little bit later. We saw it really pick up in April, and I think that's going to continue on for a while.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of demand out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, with the rate environment still,
right.
We have seen demand pick up. I do think a lot of that is due to the seasonality. A lot of more people are in town. We may see demand tick back down, just depending on what continues to happen with rates. So we've seen rates nearing 8% again, which is not fun for most people. But at the end of the day, people are still buying homes. Demand seems to be up, and the buyers that are out there now seem to be more active than they were.
Right. I mean, we were talking about that earlier. I'm actually getting so many people calling to buy a home right now, whether it's an investor, someone moving into the area, or somebody just moving up, possibly selling. I've done a couple of that recently. But I also think that there's pent-up demand, and rates could go higher, right? So people are just, the reality is you should buy a home. That's what they're thinking now, because when the rates do go down, we've been saying this for a long time. If rates go down, there's going to be no inventory. But I think that's really connecting with a lot of people right now because we're seeing a lot more buyer activity.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think it's important also to note that there's still options, and we were kind of just chatting about this. Like, we had, for instance, a buyer that came to us, was wanting to purchase around $700,000. They found a beautiful home, perfect home for them. There was already a cash offer on it. The cash offer was a little low, so we kind of chatted back and forth. What if we used seller concessions to use the temporary buy-down, which we've talked about? That's into nauseam.
Right.
So we asked for 2% versus lowering the purchase price by 2%. And what their savings looked like for the first year was about $800 difference a month. Wow. By taking the temporary buy-down, the 2% concessions, versus reducing the purchase price. For the second year, it saved them about $400. And it's no guarantee that rates are going to drop in that time period, but it's a good way for them to get into a home, to be able to have a more affordable payment. And that's a real life example of something that just happened to us the other day.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of concessions from sellers are still up quite a bit. You're probably seeing that on the contracts you're getting. Right. So I think most sellers are very aware that they're going to most likely pay some concessions, especially in that price range.
Yeah. And the thing about it too is that we're not really seeing, knock on wood, I don't like saying this, we're not seeing low appraisals a ton, which is people are pricing their homes more effectively. They're realizing the market, I think, more. Agents have never been more knowledgeable, and the good agents are obviously thriving in how they provide comps to their sellers. So I think the market's moving in a better way than it has, and it's realizing, I guess, the market that we're in versus 6 months ago when we were seeing some of these lower appraisals come in. It was just hard for sellers to grasp onto that.
Exactly. Good. Yeah, that's great. So we're in the middle of our spring selling season, and I think that's going to continue for a while. And rates are hovering, like you said, in the high sevens, but there are options like the 2-1 buy down, which is good. And I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have any questions, reach out to us. Have a good month of May.